Hey guys, it's Alvin and Jess, and we are
The Most Potato. On today's episode, we'll be talking about Love Lies Bleeding. There will be spoilers ahead, so if you haven't watched this movie yet, save this episode and come back after watching.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you guys enjoy the show.
All right, welcome guys to another episode of the Most Potato Podcast.
Woo!
Hope you had a lovely weekend or weekday or whatever time zone you're in. Enjoy your time,
I guess. Yesterday was very rainy and wet and cold.
Yeah, for anyone listening, yesterday for us was Saturday, and it's Saturday. It was Saturday in Boston, and it was one of the rainiest days we've had in forever, and it was really annoying.
Because it was our 5th year anniversary.
Woo!
And I hate leaving the house, but I left the house for love. For love.
For love and tacos.
Yes.
Tacos and bakery, pastries, and all that good stuff. My shoes were sloshy and wet. It was all good.
I don't understand how you don't have rain boots. Like,
It's because I don't go shoe shopping enough, and it also barely rains enough for me to need rain boots.
Look what happened. Look what happened.
I know, one day out of 365 or 364 days. But yeah, I do need boots for days like that because my Adidas were just, at this point, my feet were in swimming pools.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, I don't know how.
So we hope your weekend or weekday or whatever day you were having was less rainy and less cold and less windy. Yes. Yes. And we hope that you guys went out to go to the movies because we went out and we went to go see Love Lies Bleeding. And this was a movie that I was like super excited about. I don't know what it was about the trailers. I was like super stoked about watching this movie.
You
and
said
it was
buff lesbians and you were like, let's go.
Well, one buff lesbian, yeah. Well, she's bisexual. It was revealed in the movie. Spoilers, guys. One of them is bisexual. Yeah, this is one of my most anticipated movies this year, like right next to Alien Romulus. And now that we finally got to watch this movie, I can confidently say I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it the way that I thought I would. But still, it was a decent time.
Yeah, I don't know
For the
what
most
I was
part.
expecting going
I don't know either,
in.
just because the trailers are just like kind of nebulous and sort of mysterious about what exactly was supposed to happen, like what the plot is. I thought it was like a revenge story, but it didn't turn out to be a revenge story, really.
Uh-huh.
So I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, lesbian John Wick.
No, I just saw the big woman, and I was just like, yes. I was like, she looks awesome. She looks great.
She looks so... the whole time, I was just like, please, A24, get the rights to Marvel and do like a She-Hulk. Just do this. Just paint her and do practical effects. You don't need CGI for this one. This woman was huge. Like Katie O'Brien... I've seen her in bits of things here and there, but I did not know she was built like that. And that was fascinating.
Yeah.
She apparently has a history in bodybuilding. That's why she was...
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she apparently auditioned for this role like 6 times. I'm just like, damn, just give her the role.
Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah, and I saw her tweet too that she was like, oh, I'm available when they were first putting out casting calls.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So this was a pretty fun watch, but I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. So I was a little underwhelmed, but I'll be curious to hear your thoughts as we discuss this movie as well. For anyone uninitiated with this trailer and this movie, Love Lies Bleeding follows a character named Lou, who is a reclusive gym manager who falls hard for Jackie, a mysterious drifter who aims to be the best bodybuilder with a dark secret. Their love soon leads to violence as they get pulled into the web of Lou's own dark family history. And this film is directed by Rose Glass, also written by Rose Glass, and Weronika Tofilska. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. I don't know what kind of name that is.
I hope you did too.
Might be European. And Kristen Stewart is the lead character as Lou, and Katie O'Brien as the love interest Jackie, the bodybuilder. And... yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I liked this movie, but I didn't love it. And we'll get into the specifics as to why later on. But Jess, I wanted to gather your general thoughts and impressions on this movie. How did you feel about it? Did you like it as much as me or more or a little less? How'd you feel?
I'm trying to think back to when I saw the trailer, and
I think I was more excited about it than you.
yeah, I mean, like, I like Kirsten Stewart. I mean, I know a lot of people are just like she's kind of one note with the face and the acting, but it's kind of like her thing.
It's like her charm, her
Yeah,
gimmick.
there's something
Her
about
technique.
her technique, and I think I was just excited for it because I think when I think Kirsten Stewart and like Robert Pattinson, not as a couple anymore. Get over it, you losers. But I think they do a lot of like good movies. I think they are very good actors.
Oh yeah, they are.
So I kind of like I look forward to things that they do.
that involves them too. Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes they pick good things. I mean, Kirsten Stewart, not so much in the past. Like,
You didn't like her in Underwater, the giant Cthulhu movie that was like very forgettable and came out in a January.
did I watch that?
I think we watched it.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, but I feel like there's moments where I see something with her and I'm just like, okay, I'd check that out. Not that Charlie's Angels shit that I think she was in like some years ago or whatever when she
Oh,
picked
I
shit
did
like
not
that.
know about that.
Yeah, there was like I think it was like some reboot type of thing. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like she's a good actress and
I think so.
I like to see her in things much like Robert Pattinson. I mean, he's been picking some pretty good things, or even if the things are like kind of like bleh, Tenet, he still does the best.
Oh yeah, they always give it 110%.
Exactly. And then, like I said, the big woman, I was just like, she looks amazing. I don't know what's going on, but I'm there if she's there.
Yeah.
And basically, I think it was just all of the chaos of the trailer. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I could be interested. I want to know what's going on there.
Doesn't hurt that it's from A24.
Exactly.
They just know how to pull you in.
And I'm just like, I can't say like they never like miss, but it's never like a
Even when they miss, it's like it was worth a try.
Yeah,
It was worth going to the theater
exactly. So I enjoyed the movie for the most part. I think once we trickle down to maybe like the last act, I was kind of just like, this feels like it's going somewhere completely different, or now it's trying to say it's a completely different type of like movie than how it started off for me. And I mean, we'll get more into details about that. But it turned it, like you said, like you think she should be casted for like a She-Hulk or whatever. Like she literally She-Hulks at the end of the movie, like gets ginormous. And I was just like, that's not just me like being tired of the movie. Like, am I tired right now? Because she is a giant woman for real now, right? So it just turned into something a little bit,
completely
unexpected. And I guess like the movie's definitely like a little like pulpy, so it's
I think that's what they were going for.
I think so that's what they were going for, but I guess since I didn't expect much going in, I didn't like really see like, what is this movie about?
Yeah.
I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I felt the same way too. Yeah, I for the most part enjoyed the movie, and I think like you, I enjoyed like the first portions of the movie, like maybe towards like the second act, and then when it gets into the third act, that's when stuff just starts like falling apart for me.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I feel like things were a lot more realistic in the beginning.
Yeah, for most of the
me,
movie, it was that.
and just like it was like realistic and like lusty and sensual, and I was just like, okay, like that's this is what the movie is. And then as they started getting deeper and deeper into like Lou's like family history and like her life, and I was just like, what's going on here? Like, okay.
Especially when the fantastical elements just explode out of nowhere in the third act.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I think that was like my main issue is like there's stuff, again, we'll get into it a little later with like the fantastical elements that just get honestly introduced out of nowhere, out of left field. And it just also felt like the movie was trying to wrap up really fast. I felt like there was like a portion that was missing.
Yeah.
But I mean, besides that, acting was fantastic from everybody involved. I loved how the film looked. I mean, I feel like our theater's projection wasn't as sharp as it should have been, but I like that it had like this grimy, greasy, sweaty look like to the movie. I mean, it's like a freaking bodybuilder. They're in this nasty ass like town with this nasty ass gym, surrounded by nasty ass people with a nasty ass toilet that's clogged up.
Any other nasty ass things?
Yes, all the nasties. I just like that there was like texture to the film. Just like finally something that doesn't look sanitized and wasn't like filmed in like a dome or some shit. It looked like it was on location.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm asking for the bare minimum at this point of like, are they using actual lighting? Are they using actual like exposure to nature and shit?
Where
So
is that? Like, I feel like no one does that anymore, you know? And
at
like,
least not the big blockbuster movies.
which
Like
they need to start doing. You guys put so much money into these things. I'm
you can't
pretty
put
sure.
like a plant next to Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we talked about that a little bit in our last review for Avatar, how like their costumes were just too clean and it just
Yeah.
like it felt this didn't have that at all. It felt
It looked like we were back in like 1989.
Yeah.
Like, you see like all the details. Like there's payphones that look used up from like decades.
and I appreciate that. Like I really do.
Yeah, the attention to detail was beautiful when it came to like the world and the characters.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting watch for sure. So the movie actually opens with just they just straight up like hit you with like the lust that is about to be present in the entire movie going forward. We open up with Lou is going through her routine, and yes, her name is Lou. Like it sounds like a boy's name, Lou. Later on, we find out it's Louise, and I'm just like, oh, I like Lou better.
Louise.
Yeah. We see that Lou is managing a gym. We don't know if she owns it or not, at least not yet. And yeah, she's basically just going through her day-to-day routines. Her life is very mundane. She's a chain smoker. She's like not even attempting to quit smoking. She has like this self-help tape that's playing in her apartment. It was just, where this white guy's just like, smoking is very bad and here's why. And I was like, all this stuff.
As she smokes.
Like fucking nonstop. So right away, I feel like the movie kind of sets up this pattern of like addiction and like codependency of this Lou character. Because not long after that, we see that she's kind of like got this other person that's like hooked on her named Daisy. And it's like this really gross looking woman who she looks like she would be a character in Breaking Bad. Like her teeth look
I ain't no skank. Daisy looks
basically
like a skank.
like she looks like she's ready to like smash someone with an ATM machine incidentally. And it's just like it's so interesting how they set up the Lou character. They just set her up as like this very indifferent person that just like can't be bothered to just change something about her life. Like she lets this Daisy woman just harass her in the bathroom while she's for some reason plunging a toilet barehanded.
Yeah.
And then it's the image of the toilet's coming back, and it's like,
Okay.
oh.
Yes, that
And this Daisy woman is just obviously flirting with this woman, trying to ask her out to like some place. I forget what the place was called, probably like a bar or something. And Lou can't even be bothered to properly reject this woman.
gives her like $5. She's like, go have fun yourself.
Trying to treat her like a child.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? Here's $5 or whatever, how much she gave her. And she's like, I really can't, but you have fun.
Yeah.
You have fun with that.
Yeah.
And the girl's teeth, like, damn, I was like, Lou, you were messing with that. Like, I just couldn't. Like, they're just rot. And I'm just like, she keeps smiling. And I'm just like, Lou, really? You're
Like,
that
come on.
unbothered?
Like, you're being such a man right now. Just communicate. You are not interested.
Yeah.
I don't know why she lets this woman hug up on her and
the
follow
funny
her.
thing is that she knows that Lou isn't interested. So that just keeps
But she's
giving
so like persistent.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's usually like, you usually see that for like male characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a common thing with like men in general, but you can see that women are like that too.
Yeah.
And she just becomes a problem later on. We'll get to that later on. But yeah, they just set up this world for Lou where she's like in this dirty, grimy place. It feels very isolated. We don't even know what state or town this is. They never really specify. It feels very Midwestern.
Yeah.
Because we know that later on, Jackie mentions about how she wants to go to Vegas, and she gets there fairly quickly, like later on in the movie. So I'm assuming it's somewhere near Vegas, like not that far
It's
off,
not
probably just
far.
a couple hours drive. So yeah, they established this world very well of like this very, it almost feels like noirish. It just feels like this world where people are kind of like on their own in their own little worlds. And Lou is just like this person that just seems stuck in this place and nothing interesting is happening to her. And she's also not making any interesting things happen for herself. That is until Jackie walks in with the juiciest, biggest muscles I've seen on a person, even on a man.
Bigger than Abby.
She should play Abby. I don't care if she's like in her 30s, just recast and put this woman
Yeah.
in Last of Us 2.
I'm going to call her Abby. Jackie Abby. Anytime I see a woman with nice arms like Abby, I just call them Abby.
Yeah, I know,
It's
me
just
too.
like- I'm like, babe, look, it's Abby.
Even though Abby's not the blueprint for buff women, but that's just like, that's my like,
Well, the way she was punching out those fucking zombie clicker thingies, whatever they're called, I'm
It was
just
amazing.
like, yeah. I'm
you
just
got to play
like,
the
what?
game just to get the sensation of that power of a brawny
I'm just
woman.
like, you see Ellie and like Joel taking them down with like guns or knives or something like that, and Abby's
Abby
just
straight
punch.
straight hands to these infected things, like one bite and then she's gone, and she's
Yeah.
like, fuck it.
Yeah,
My
So-
protein will fight off the infection.
I think this actress would be great for Abby. Yes.
Maybe in a time skip, like 10 years down the line. Anyways, so when Jackie comes in and strolls into the gym, it's love at first sight for this woman, Lou. Like, lust, really. She's just
Yeah.
horny as fuck. Like, it's those typical scenes that you see in a movie where the romantic music starts playing and then everything's in slow motion. It doesn't actually happen in the movie, but like I can see that world like
Yeah.
in Lou's mind as you see Kristen Stewart just staring at this woman casually walking up to a machine, and not once does Jackie even make eye contact with her. She walks in and never really notices Lou, and I like that because it felt more naturalistic and kind of realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But Lou's over there just thirsting for this woman to the point where like a customer is like telling her like the toilet's clogged, or like somebody was asking for a soda,
Yeah.
and she just like completely like blanks out until they get her attention again. And it's just so funny, and it sets up this character of being like, there's something off about Lou. Not that there's like a problem per se, but like she has like some sort of past that she doesn't want to reveal. But she's also pretty awkward and goofy, and I think Kristen Stewart leans into that pretty well.
Yeah.
She's good at like playing like the awkward character. So I really like the interaction that they have once, they finally meet outside the gym. They establish like a good like rapport with each other. And it's also obvious because they're one of the few women that are out here in this gym, so it's kind of easy for them to connect. And then and then some bro from the gym decides to try to hit on her, and then clearly Jackie's not having it. She's being polite and saying she's not interested. And then very quickly the guy just gets like so like agitated, and it's just like, bitch, I'm asking you out on a date. I'm being
Yeah.
nice. And actually punches her. I'm like, what the? It was
Yeah.
like 5 seconds of interaction, and you're already throwing hands with this stranger.
And then it was already because she was talking to Lou, he's just like, oh, Lou is a lesbian, and she's just
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah. And
Yeah.
then
Well, he used a harsher word, but yeah.
yeah, he used the harsher word, and it was just like, and she's like, yeah, okay, and he just kept being persistent, and then she punched him, and then he punched her, and then I was just like, whoa! I was just like, right off the bat. I mean, I think we were introduced to Jackie before she comes to the gym, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do see a scene with her and this grimy, dirty piece of shit named JJ.
Yeah. And they, I don't know, she was trying to get a job or whatever. So she was sleeping with him so that way he could put in a good word. So that's
Yeah.
how we met her. So we met her before Lou
Yeah.
meets her. And I was just like, I was like, I wonder what her story is. She walks into the gym. And then I was like, when she punches this guy in the face who just like won't stop asking her out.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay. I was just like, she's going to be something.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder like what her like whole character is. But she seemed kind of like, I don't know if it's because like she was her goal, like her main goal is to get to Vegas and
Yeah.
do the what is it, the bodybuilding
Competition.
competition. Like that's like her main goal. I'm like, she's just like sleeping outside under a bridge and stuff, not really sure where she's going next. She just knows that she needs to train and be ready for this contest.
Yeah. Right.
And she's kind of just like in the motions, I guess, of just like
Yeah.
until she gets there. And it
Yeah.
was just like really like weird. Even when she was like with that guy in his car, she was just like, okay, so are you gonna get me the job? And it
Yeah.
was just like whatever. And then like when she meets Lou and she just punches this guy in the face or whatever, she's just like, I like talking to her. And it's just like nothing happened. Like I was just like, wait, what the fuck? You just got punched by this guy, and it's just
It
like
kind of tells you that she's been through a lot, and
Yeah.
we don't know much about her history.
exactly.
Especially since she's like a drifter. She's well, it's technically homeless, but she's traveling.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that she can't even afford to like book a motel,
Yeah.
like that says a lot about her situation in like just like the first few minutes without dialogue.
I'm just like, girl, ain't you worried? And she's just like,
Not
I'm
with
gonna
those
go to
arms.
bases. Yeah.
Apparently not. Yeah, and speaking of guns, she does. Jackie does end up getting that job thanks to that creepy JJ character, at a gun range. But she works as a server. But eventually she does end up learning about handling a gun. And the gun shop or the gun range is owned by someone named Lou Sr., which is actually revealed to be Lou's father, who has been alluded to like throughout the start of the relationship between Lou and Jackie. But it isn't until later on in the conversation where Lou finally reveals that, oh, like that's my father. Like, you shouldn't work for him. Like, please don't work for him. So it sets up a really interesting connection in like the first like 10, 15 minutes. It tells you just enough, but doesn't tell you what's going on with Lou specifically. Like, why is it that she's so against like Jackie working for her father?
Yeah.
And that was like one of the frustrating things about the character, but it was also intentional, is that she hides so much from Jackie. Like, Jackie's trying to ask her simple questions about like her past and her like family, and Lou just doesn't really give any answers. She gives answers to deflect the question. So it sets up interesting tension and world building of like what exactly is going on. Why is this father who owns this gun range so bad that you can't talk to this man? And then also the fact that Jackie needs a job. It's like, well, I mean, can you offer her a job? Because you're not hiring either.
Exactly.
It's like you don't have anything to do at the gym either. So just let this woman work. Yeah, it sucks that it's your dad, but you're also not saying why it's such a problem to work for the dad as well. And the dad is really creepy as to like Ed Harris is the actor who plays Lou Sr. And I feel like I've seen his face before. He has a very familiar face. I don't know where I've seen him before, but this is the first time I've seen an old man like that with like this weird receding hairline and this long ass.
I'm pretty sure I've seen a corpse that looks like him. And I don't know if it was like a cartoon corpse or like a real in some haunty scary movie.
Tales from the Crypt.
Maybe something like that. That's what he looked like. I'm just like, just let the hair go. He had the audacity to put that shit in a ponytail too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways.
But at least we see right away that Lou and Jackie, they have extreme chemistry. Like when they get together, it's like nonstop sex, and then there's so many sex scenes with them.
Yeah.
And even when Jackie's trying to work out, it somehow ends with sex.
Yeah. We like that.
Yeah. So I like that they established the chemistry. I really bought into the relationship between those two. But you quickly see that they, as much as they have chemistry, they don't have a lot of compatibility. They're not like that good for each other.
They're not. It really is like lust at first sight. And like when they met, I think it was the first night they met too, after the altercation with the guy or whatever. Didn't Lou give Jackie steroids like that first night? That wasn't later on in the
I don't remember.
relationship. Yeah, I think it was like their first.
It was soon after they met.
It was
very
soon.
early on in the
I think
relationship.
it was like right after. No, it was right after. Now I'm remembering. So they go back after so she could get like ice or something for Jackie's face or whatever. Yeah. And then they were just talking, and that's when, she was telling her about the bodybuilding and all that stuff like that. And then she was just like, oh, do you use, steroids or whatever? She's just like, no. She's like, I'm all natural. And she's just like, yeah, well, we have them. They're just like, we just get them. Like, they're easy to get. They're not hard to get. And like that first night, like she injects her with the steroids or whatever for her. And I was just like,
what are you doing?
Girl. I'm like, you
this
talking
is
about
first date?
Yeah, I was just like, not even a first date, just the first meeting. And I'm just like, damn, Jackie, you just whatever. Like, I'm like,
I know, because she resisted at first.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, natural, baby.
Yeah. And then she's like, where do you want it? And then, and like stick her right in the butt cheek. And then that was just like, okay, wow. And so I feel like that you need to remember that also is the start of, I feel like Jackie, like her personality, but I feel like it's like in a sense kind of gets like a little heightened with the steroids. It
reveals more about her.
It reveals more, and like once we get to know more about her, you see the usage of steroids. Yeah, like
it becomes a problem.
It becomes a problem, and it makes her a little bit more
aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets ignorant as fuck. Yeah, it's insane. And we see like shots of her muscles like bulging almost like unnaturally.
That made me so uncomfortable.
At first I was like, okay, I guess it could look like that, but it also kind of looked like exaggerated.
Yeah.
It was a very short, brief shot. It wasn't like anything major yet. So I was like, that's a really interesting shot. I don't know why we're closing up on these muscles that are just like getting super enlarged. Like it almost looks like inhuman. And then, as their relationship progresses, we see that she's basically regularly using this, thanks to Lou.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lou. Fucking, she should be in Breaking Bad. I don't know. So they quickly form this very codependent relationship. Like they are quickly moving in together. It's only been like a day or two, but hey, shit happens. But with the mix with like the steroids, it looks very clear that there's so much codependency going on with each other, and then Jackie with the drugs. It quickly starts to become like some red flags from both sides of this relationship. And then it's revealed that Lou has a sister as well. What's her name? Beth. Yeah. Thank you. Beth, who is actually married to JJ, the guy that had sex with Jackie in the car in order to give this job to her. So we see that he's kind of like a slime ball. When we see their home life, you see right away that he's very dismissive of Lou, doesn't really acknowledge Lou.
Gaslights the shit out of her.
Yeah, Lou really just like gives like the stink eye to JJ whenever he's around. And you see like some bruises on Beth's like
Didn't
face
she have
or
like
body.
a broken arm when we first introduced her? Like her arm was like in a sling or something like that.
I think so.
And I was just like,
you saw, there was already an injury on her.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, that just informed us of like, okay, they're in an abusive relationship, and that's why Lou doesn't like this JJ character.
Yeah.
So then later on, when she finds out that Beth is in the hospital and that that JJ was the one that obviously did it. Her face is covered in like welts and shit.
You can't see her face. Basically, her like
Beth looked like she got like stung by wasps in the face. Like that's how bad she was hurt. And that was a fight that happened after they had like a dinner together. JJ, Beth, Lou, and Jackie, because he felt embarrassed just because something spilled on him, and then his wife tried to help him clean it up.
Yeah.
He's clearly like this very short-tempered like bastard of a person.
It's because he couldn't use chopsticks too. It's like, it's not our fault you're a loser.
Yeah. It's just like, you want a fork? It's like, no, I can do this.
I know.
Stupid fucking chopsticks. I was ready for him to make a freaking racist comment about like the restaurant. Like, God, he's fucking awful. So then it's revealed not long after that Beth is injured. They're in the hospital. Lou and Jackie are there, and Lou is just like completely destroyed because there was a setup before where she's very protective of her sister and she's very caring for her sister.
Yeah.
But she's also frustrated with her sister because she tries to tell her numerous times, like, hey, this JJ guy, you need to leave him because he's hurting you. And Beth is one of those people that's accustomed to that abuse and just will not leave, especially since they have a kid together.
Yeah, multiple, like 2 kids, right?
I think so.
It's like 2 kids, and she feels that she's in love. I don't want to say she feels. She is in love with this man. To the point where like
she tolerates
the abuse and stuff. So it's just like she has made it clear. At least Lou has said that she's made it clear that she doesn't want her to do anything. And that's also what the dad knows, because the dad knows that that's going on with his daughter and stuff. But I guess she's made it clear to her family, do not intervene, like don't do anything about it, because clearly, like I said when we first introduced her, she has the sling on her arm and something's going on. And then as it progresses, we learn, okay, he's the one that's doing this to her. And it's just like she can leave at any point she wants to. And not only that, JJ is basically employed by her dad. So you have to see that it's like it's really Beth's decision. Like she's so like that's like another relationship in the movie that you see. It's not just Jackie and Lou that are the toxic ones. As we'll see this is also a toxic relationship, as Beth is the victim as well too. But it's also just like anybody who sees, just like you can easily like have him disappeared if you wanted to. This is like, your family's willing to do what it takes to get you out of the situation. But for her, it's love, and she doesn't want anyone to interfere with it. Which makes Lou, that's the reason why she's there. You mentioned earlier that she's stuck there.
Because she's protecting her sister.
Protecting her sister. So it's just like
that's the only reason why she won't leave. Whenever Jackie brings up the ideas of like leaving together and traveling the country and seeing where everything goes, that's something that finally gets revealed in this moment. That's something that Lou's always holding back. So then it starts to slowly unravel Lou's very dark past. because we see that her father's also there at the hospital, and you see like as much as he's very scummy and sketchy,
Yeah.
you see that he's also very loving of Beth, and he's genuinely distraught.
Yeah.
But that was like kind of like a plot hole for me personally that came up later on. I was like, if your employee is beating on your daughter like that, I feel like you would get rid of this JJ man much sooner or put him in his place or some shit. But I don't know if it's because it's more complicated now because he's married to his daughter. I don't know if that's what makes it so hard for him to like put him in his place. But it's like, come on, you're the father here. That's your kid. And you're seeing that this is a regular pattern and you're not putting JJ in his place. I don't know, someone like him who was later on revealed to be a really, really powerful person. I'm just like, I feel like you could have done something to put this man straight. I feel like you would have just said, you know what, fuck Beth's feelings. I know she's my daughter, but she can find another husband.
And there never really seemed to be any fear in JJ knowing that. He probably didn't know all of the family secrets.
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
But that
bothered me afterward. I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
So
this man is powerful. Why is he letting JJ smack around his daughter like that?
This, yeah.
Someone like him, I feel like wouldn't accept
and
that.
And I can't feel like it's just enough for her to be like, don't intervene, like tell her dad, don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like this is not your I don't feel like that doesn't feel like it's enough.
And I don't buy that he would just be that respectful of her wishes. But
yeah.
I don't know. I went along with it because the plot kind of depended on that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, and then Jackie sees how distraught Lou is. Like Lou is just like in hysterics, and she's torn up about it. And the whole time, you just see Jackie just like she's clearly about to like lose her shit. Like she's gripping the seat. Her muscles are bulging. Her eyes are just like on fire.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh shit, because they were teasing like something going on with her and the steroids like before this moment, where like her muscles keep bulging and like looking like kind of superhuman size almost.
Yeah.
And then she decides to take it upon herself to go and break into JJ and Beth's house, wait for JJ, and then basically rip his jaw open.
Oh, God.
She murders him.
Yeah, she murders him. She just beats the shit out of him, slams him into a coffee table. He's laying on the ground, and I was just like, I turned to you, I was like, that's his jaw, right? I said, you see his jaw,
flapping around.
I was like, oh my God. Yeah, no, that was really like,
that was horrifying.
Intense. It was. And I didn't realize it, but now that I think about it, you mentioned how she was bigger than she usually is in that scene.
Yeah, and that final shot where she's standing in the living room after he's dead and on the floor, there's a wide shot of them in the living room. It's all silhouetted. You can't see her details at all, but she looked significantly taller.
Yeah.
And the muscles were slightly bigger than she was when she walked in.
Because the way she just like flung him down and I was just like, wait, what? I mean, I know she like works out and she probably could take him if she wasn't on the roids, but I was just like,
this is something else. Like,
yeah,
the way that she killed him so easily, and then her physique just totally like was even way more different than before. Even though we couldn't see all the details, I was like, all right, something's going on here. Like, what is in the steroids, or is there something in her DNA that like reacts to the steroids? Because she just enlarged. She just like she got knee surgery in the in between scenes, and then now she's like her head is almost hitting the ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the house isn't that tall, but still, like, so that was really creepy to watch. And then that's when the movie really picks up, and we're just like, oh fuck. So this is what it's about. It's not really a revenge thing. It's like they have to be on the run now because Jackie just committed a murder. It's just like you're not gonna get away with that in a small town where it's so easy to find people.
Yeah.
So that picks up the movie like from there, and then from there I was really hooked on what was happening like moment after moment. Like it was really fascinating to see Lou scrambling to figure out what to do, and it was interesting to see how sort of calculated Lou was with trying to get rid of the body. It's almost like she had done it before.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like super professional, but it's like she surprisingly kind of knew what to do. Like she went to roll up the body in the rug. She made sure to like clean everything in the house as much as she could. And then putting the body in the truck. And it's just like, okay, so you're hiding something as well. So both of you motherfuckers are hiding stuff from each other that you should really talk about.
Yeah.
Because this woman, Jackie here, just easily murdered somebody and was like 7 feet tall by the end of it. And then now you're over here acting like Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad, just knows how to clean shit up out of nowhere. So like, I really want to know what's going on. And honestly, fuck JJ. I think he deserved that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. Like, if the cops won't do anything about it and can't do anything about it because Beth doesn't want anything done about it, you know what? Fuck it. JJ deserves to be out of here.
Honestly.
I was shocked and horrified, but I was like, I get it.
Yeah. It was just more horrifying to see Jackie just like, it could have been anyone, and I would have been like, damn, like,
because I didn't expect her to be a murderer.
Exactly. She didn't expect herself to be a murderer. So yeah, it was shocking, but JJ definitely deserved something.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was Jackie, Lou, or the dad doing something to him, like, he deserved something because he sucked.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's definitely like the steroids that are messing with Jackie to make her do something like that.
Otherwise, she would not be doing this, I think.
Yeah.
She gets gradually unstable the more she uses the drugs up until that point of the murder.
Exactly. So I'm just like, if she wasn't, would she do something? I feel like she'd probably have been at Lou's side if she wasn't just like trying to comfort her maybe or whatever. But she really just, you could see her just like itching to go and like fix it. Like fix it until she like gets up and goes and drives to the house. And I was just like, what is she planning on doing? You know, I'm like, okay, she's probably just going to beat his ass. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the most frustrating things about the movie that I wanted to bring up as well, is we don't really get much reveal about Jackie's backstory, at least not at this point. But later on in the movie, I was hoping to get more of that. And then that also just doesn't happen. But I mean, we'll get to that later on. But that was just one thing I wanted to note, is like, the Jackie character is so fascinating, but it was frustrating never really getting a full picture of what was going on with her and where she came from, really. Like, I didn't need a full prequel movie about her life, but it's like, damn, like, what are you running away from, and what's going on with your body that this is happening when you take steroids?
Yeah.
That question never gets answered, and it's just like, why? It just feels random otherwise. But getting back to the crime scene, so when Lou and Jackie are trying to get rid of the body, they're both driving in separate cars, and then that's when fucking Daisy shows up very conveniently in this small town in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like at 2 a.m. She's just out for a stroll in the middle of the street and sees Jackie in Lou's car, and Lou is in JJ's car, and she's like, interesting. Why? What new car? What's this?
Jackie should have ran her ass over and threw her in the trunk too.
I almost thought she was gonna do something right then and there. Of course, Daisy has to be the witness to the crime. Nobody's around, not even cops. And then Daisy's stanky ass is right there.
Damn.
Just like, once again, just like pushing for a date. Well, she's actually like kind of like probing Lou for questions, and then that's when Lou is finally just like, "Hey, let's go on that date you wanted to go on," so she can just shut her up instead of just driving off.
Driving over her and off.
And then right when that moment happened, I was like, okay, this is gonna come back later. Obviously, it felt very predictable that Daisy is gonna be very key in a plot point later on with Lou and this body.
Yeah.
So that happens. They finally get to this weird ravine, this cliff at the edge of town. And then Lou goes, oh, okay, yeah, so we're just going to push this body down the cliff. And we're also going to set it on fire for good measure. And I was just like, what the fuck? So clearly she has a history of something.
Well, she says, she's like, I know a place to like...
I know a place, babe.
She's like, I know a place we can get rid of it. And she's like, we're going to have to, go with Jackie. Didn't Jackie right off the bat once kind of like just like take off? Like, so she's like, just fuck it. Let's go to Vegas. And then Lou's just like, no, we have to like be normal. Like, we have to stay here.
Yeah, that's when she got manic about the whole Vegas thing, because I guess the drugs are still affecting her, and she's got this goal that she really wants to achieve so badly, but she's not sitting with reality. Like, you just murdered somebody and you all dumped a body. Like, you can't just go about your lives. And yeah, it's almost like she acts childish at this point. She acts like a little brat that just like wants to get her way. So yeah, so then they fight about that because Lou tells her to just stay home while she tries to figure stuff out like the next day. Jackie clearly doesn't want that. So she gets her training in. She busts through the door like the Hulk because she gets locked in. I've never seen a house where you can lock somebody in with the front door. I think that's just a movie thing, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. No, not necessarily. I think.
Really?
Well, maybe not a house, but maybe like a shed, driveway,
something
type
like
of
that.
thing
But like the main front door.
Yeah,
that was weird.
It's Lou, and I guess I don't know.
That's why, yeah, because the FBI is always stalking her. So it's like, I'm gonna lock myself in here so they don't get in here.
Yeah.
So then Jackie's just on the move. She hitchhikes to get to Vegas, which surprisingly there's no incident there. I feel like when she got on that van, I feel like it was like gonna be a problem with those guys in the van.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh great, now she's gonna get assaulted.
Asleep too. She fell asleep, and then next thing I know, they were at like this hotel, and they're just like, "We're here. This is where you want to go, right?" And I was just like, "Thank God." I'm like, we don't need any more like shit happening right now. Like,
yeah, that shit was funny, but it also felt weird that it just was so convenient. But I don't know. I guess that's the '80s. You could kind of hitchhike. But that was still a risk.
It's either you make it there or you just disappear forever, and then we're talking about you in 2020 or something like that.
Yeah, there's no
what
in between.
happened to Jackie?
Yes, and it's a Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we see that she finally makes it to the competition, and you see like she's kind of like really like crashing with the drugs. Like she's getting like these weird images in her head, and I don't feel like the images tell much of a picture about her life. We hear like some auditory things that sounds like her family and her upbringing, but we don't get much of a clear picture.
Did she also use them at the? I can't remember if she used it at the competition. Because I know like throughout the movie, like it was like a lot of like her working out, and then scenes of like the needle and the bottles and stuff like that, and she was like putting it in her foot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she did use it like right before she like went on and stuff, and it was just like, oh my God, like her foot looked really fucked up too where she was putting it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, like what did Lou do to this like this woman? Like I couldn't. I mean, it's not all Lou, but it's just like, really, you meet someone, the first thing you do is just like, oh yeah, you want these steroids?
Yeah.
So like clearly she's like hooked on them. She becomes hooked on them, and I didn't think she would when she first did. I thought it was more like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. And I mean that was stupid of me to think, because I'm just like, of course she's gonna get hooked on this. But I didn't think much of it until I was like, damn, I'm like she's really hooked on this shit.
Yeah.
Like it's really pushing her.
Yeah. And they got to the point where you think she's doing good at the performance at the competition, which maybe she was. We don't really know, because reality sets in and we see that Jackie just like completely just vomits in front of everybody from the withdrawal of the drugs. Yeah. And it was gross because first it was an image of her throwing up Lou, almost like she was birthing Lou.
Like if anybody saw A24's movie Men,
that last scene in the last act,
scene where the guy
with
just
the birth and the
rebirth in the whole bunch of different holes rebirth. That's what I got from that. That's what we got from it. I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, why?
It was disgusting. And I'm like, okay, this is like the trippy.
Did you understand that whole Lou birth thing happening? Like or throwing? I didn't get that. I was just grossed out. I was too grossed out to try to make sense of it.
I don't know, because the body purging out the drugs is like the body trying to like heal itself. So I don't know if they were trying to insinuate that Jackie needed to purge Lou from her life, but it doesn't really seem like it, because they end up together at the end of the movie. Spoilers, but yeah, I didn't know what to make of that image at the time, and even now it's just like I just felt like it was a weird artsy thing to just show her just completely crashing, because she thought that Lou was there supporting her, which confused me when there was like that shot of Lou saying go get him or whatever, and then she realized she was never there, and then she thought that somebody was making fun of her after the vomiting, so then she goes after this woman and just murders her, basically. Just like
they don't even, I mean, of course there's no need to follow up on it, but like she basically, I think they were laughing, maybe. I feel like there was,
it didn't really matter. The point is she lost control again,
and then she just snatched up one of the other competitors and just started beating the shit out of her, and then next thing you know she's just in jail, and then that's it. And I was just like, is that woman alive? Like, can someone update me? Because I was like, I'm thinking JJ.
I think Lou Sr. confirmed that she was dead. Yeah, so she killed again.
Ah, fuck, Jackie.
Yeah. And then somehow just Lou Sr. is able to spring Jackie out of jail. And that's when we keep learning that this guy has a lot of power. He doesn't just control some of the cops back at home.
Yeah.
He also has range all the way out here in Las Vegas, which doesn't really get explained. But I was like, okay,
We
you
just
have
have to.
you have power over here too. The way that you're just able to spring people out of jail after a clear murder just happened. I don't know how I was able to pull that off, even with the cop saying okay. And then that's when Lou's dad, Lou Sr., really has Jackie in his pocket because he's scheming up something as well. Because now he's basically trying to clean up the mess that Lou and Jackie made when they pushed that car with the JJ's body in the ravine, because there's a huge plume of smoke.
Yeah.
And then now the FBI are investigating and they're getting close and hot on his heels. So he's basically trying to help Lou to help himself, Lou Sr., to not get caught.
Yeah.
So, and he,
I don't get it though. I'm like, I mean, I know it was like spur of the moment type of thing, but like you said, it seems like Lou has done some disappearing of bodies, peoples before. I don't know what they had. This is like the 80s. You know, I'm just thinking like a giant like container and like some acid. They couldn't have put JJ in one of those and stuff, and then we could have just avoided the smoke screen.
Or
Like
remember, she's used to dumping bodies in there, not whole entire cars.
that is true. I mean, she could have just. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's because it's like that time, and I've watched too much Dexter and stuff like that. I'm just thinking like just acid.
I feel like if maybe she dumped just the body, maybe she would have got away with it, because that's easier for Lou Sr. to clean up than a whole fucking burning car.
Yeah. I'm just,
so maybe she was like overzealous when it came to getting rid of
and she
JJ.
Or maybe I was gonna say she could have just put him in her truck, but her truck was parked outside. So I guess it's like spur of the moment. But yeah.
Look at us trying to concoct perfect crimes
No,
on a
guys,
podcast.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And then, so during this whole time, when Lou Sr. is plotting things with Jackie, the entire time this is going on, Lou has to deal with Daisy, trying to get her off her back because she's quickly getting blackmailed by Daisy.
Oh my God.
Because Daisy has all the information about that night, and she's like, it'd be funny if I went to the cops with this information. So she basically strong arms Lou into being her girlfriend. And it's just like the most gross thing ever. And it's just like, I want this woman to just go down, just at least go to jail, bare minimum.
Because was she trying to like tell like Lou like I'll tell on you, but then she's like
basically.
But then she's like, oh, I could say it was Jackie, and then Lou's just like, no, fucking, I'll touch your teeth, like like and then it turned out I was just like, what the fuck? And then Jackie calls the house, Lou's house, and then Daisy answers. She's
with her
like,
naked ass.
Oh yeah, she was naked too. I was just like, oh,
she don't want to play with you anymore.
Well, yeah. I fucking
she
hate
was
Daisy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, that's the payoff of why we had that scene with Daisy randomly in the middle of the night out in town seeing this crime scene happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Daisy character, I mean the actress played her wonderfully. What is it? Anna Baryshnikov. I've never heard of her before, but apparently she's been in some pretty interesting stuff. And I can see that she's a great actress because she knows how to play a filthy, horrible person. Well, I mean, everyone's like terrible in their own unique ways in this movie, but she's like those incels that just like won't back out and doesn't give up. So then Lou Sr.'s trying to deal with that because that's going to burn him. So he basically sets it up so that Jackie shoots Daisy to death right at the front door of Lou's apartment.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how many times is this woman going to clean up blood around the place? And then this time, like, she has even less time to deal with it because the FBI soon just like shows up right after.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, it just gets messier and messier the more like the plot develops. And then when Jackie finishes the job, we see that she's at a payphone and she's trying to call somebody, one of her relatives, I guess like a sister or something.
I think it's just like she calls back home.
Yeah, and she's talking to someone. It's like a child.
Yeah, like a younger sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the mom picks up and just says, don't ever fucking call this house again, you monster.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want to know more about this.
That,
What is going on? Like, there's still no real reveal. We just know that she's been a problem at home, and now she's kind of on the run, trying to build a life.
Maybe she's like, I mean, she just started using steroids or whatever, but she was already like, you know, a well-built girl, and she was training and all that stuff. And I'm thinking from that, I was like, maybe she hurt somebody back home. Probably didn't kill them, but probably hurt them really badly. And just the use of the steroids has now tipped her over the edge to actually killing someone.
Yeah.
So like it's just like, you monster. It's just like whoever's on the other end, if it's like a mother or whoever, I was like, well, now you have no idea, because like she's already killed 3 people now, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
so
3 already in like
Yeah.
48 hours.
exactly. So yeah,
Yeah, so it was, and at that point, I was just like, why the hell do we not know more about Jackie? Because I'm just like, I want to know what exactly makes her tick. What did she experience at home that led her to this point? Because I feel like she might have had a history with steroids, and that's why her mom is calling her a monster. It sounds like this isn't the first time she's gone off like this.
yeah,
So I feel like she has already had a history with drugs, probably got clean on the way here, and then Lou came and kind of ruined that. Because I have a sense that she's kind of like an addict in her own way, because she
Yeah.
quickly said yes to the drugs in this movie. So I think she has a past. Otherwise, her mom wouldn't be saying this kind of stuff.
yeah, that's true.
So now I want a prequel, like limited series of Jackie, because we don't get enough information about her. So Jackie is just like a complete mess at this point. And then at that point, we're at like the climax of the movie where Lou basically makes the threat to her father that I'll just fucking call the cops or the
I'll
FBI,
tell the FBI
and tell
everything.
them everything. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
So she severs all connections to her father. She can no longer get bailed out by him, but it's like getting that help is just being trapped by him in his world.
Yeah.
Because it's revealed again that she used to get rid of bodies with him. She had a whole life of crime with her father up until her mother left, and that's what kind of broke her and just made her stay away from her father. Because she thought that the mother had been killed, that the father might have killed her and got rid of her.
Like basically, she couldn't
bear to live with these people anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it was even mentioned that she put in a report that she wanted to file a report about this, but then she never followed up. So that's why Lou thought, oh, my fucking father killed this woman.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Lou gets threatened and has a cop over to her house and is trying to kill her, and she ends up killing the cop, she knows that now she's no longer on any good terms with her dad. So now she has to go to her dad's to try to get Jackie back and try to get out of there. And we see that Beth is there because Beth is supposed to be picked up from the hospital by Lou.
Yeah.
And then she never shows up. So poor Beth with her stung up face is just like there by herself waiting for pickup. So I guess the dad came and picked her up, because we see that Beth is in the dad's house and Lou confronts her. She's like, where's Jackie? And we see a very dark side to Beth here, because she knows right then and there that Lou did something with JJ,
Yeah.
with her husband. And we see like this very just depressing, very sad moment that even now, as sad as she was that she lost JJ, she still doesn't understand that he wasn't a good person to have in her life. And she is obsessed and addicted and just, again, codependency. She's very codependent with this man that just hurts her because that's her husband and that's the father of her children. She doesn't feel like she can ever leave him. So she's basically now out of Lou's life as well.
Yeah.
That is another severed connection that no longer binds Lou to this town. And it's really sad because that's one of the only family members she had left who she had a genuine connection with. She's someone that she genuinely loves, whereas with her father, she's under his thumb. She can't get away from him. And she's trying to protect the sister. But now that the sister no longer wants anything to do with Lou's kind of free to like finally go off and leave this town forever.
Make a choice of
Yeah.
what she wants to do and how she wants to leave.
Yeah.
And that involves Jackie still.
Yeah, exactly. Because, at this point, all she has left is Jackie, even though she was kind of done with her beforehand. So then we see that Jackie is chained up afterwards. So, like, because now the job is done, Lou Sr. doesn't need Jackie anymore. I'm surprised Lou Sr. didn't just straight up kill Jackie and get rid of her. I'm just like, really? You chained up this Hulk woman?
Exactly.
I was like, okay, I guess. But again, plot. The plot reasons for why she was still alive. So Lou finds her and then finally breaks her out. And they have like a bit of a moment where they fight each other. He's like, what are you doing here? She's like, what are you doing here? I'm just like, just run.
Yeah.
It's like you just got chained up and you're over here like trying to fight each other.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, dude, Lou has every right to be mad at you for randomly like running off on her, but I also get how problematic it was for Lou to lock up the house with Jackie in it. But it's like you're dealing with somebody very unstable. You don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
It was a very super gray area that they were in. But I got the frustration from both sides, but I was kind of more on Lou's side. I was like, if I was dealing with a steroid raged up motherfucker, I'd probably lock you in.
Killed someone, and then not only that, she killed was Daisy, right?
Yeah.
She shot Daisy, and then you heard her pull the trigger again to try to shoot Lou, and then Lou, the way Lou looked at her, like, what the fuck? Like, did you really just? But the thing, it didn't go off.
Yeah.
And then that's when Jackie took off and stuff. That was like before, so I can understand why she's upset. And I was just like, you still trying to be with her though, Lou? And it was just like really funny. Like that look on her face is like, you did not just pull the trigger to try to shoot me, bitch.
That was a funny moment. Yeah. I love the natural awkward moments that happen with Kristen Stewart's like acting. Like that, that moment she's like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
It felt like the most naturalistic response from somebody who's genuinely awkward and like a recluse.
Yeah.
It didn't feel movie-like. It just felt very realistic. Like sometimes somebody would say some funny shit like that or act kind of funny in that scary situation. So yeah, I appreciated that. But yeah, no, like with all that stuff considered, I just didn't see how these people were still going to be a couple because there's just so much mess between them. It's just like, I get that if you want to save her and then you guys go off on your own, but no, they end up wanting to stay together. They make up. And I'm just like, you should be running right now. And you're over here kissing each other and being like, I love you. And I want you in my life again.
I don't know. I thought the dad was going to just pop them both when they were in the tennis court talking and making up or whatever and stuff. Because I was just like, one of them is going to die. That's I really thought one of them was going to die. I thought it was going to be Lou.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, she's finally going to like, take down her dad and this is it. Because I'm just like, I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but you spend most of your life here in this town for your sister. She's gone. Your dad's cut you off. And Jackie, as much as they made up, I'm like, she's still running off because she has to basically run. Yeah. After all she's done, and she has to find somewhere to go to next. Yeah. So I really thought that that's how it was going to play out.
Yeah. So then we see that they try to make an escape plan. Jackie is going one way, Lou's going the other way because she has a car with a dead Daisy in the trunk.
Oh, yes, Daisy.
And then, of course, when they split up, that's when Lou Sr. comes up out of nowhere. I was like, where's this man been? I know he didn't go grocery shopping during all of this. Shoots Lou in the ankle or in the leg.
Yeah, like that.
And basically, like, incapacitates her. And he's ready to just finish her off. Yeah. And I appreciated the performance Ed Harris had with almost finishing his daughter off. Because you could see there was like anguish in his eyes. You could see that. I was like, I feel like I could watch like a whole movie about just their life, like as like a crime family. I feel like that would be way more like compelling than what we got here. Because I think this last act just got like very messy at that point. But I really like that moment. And then when Lou Sr. is about to finish Lou off with the gun, that's when we see the shot of Jackie like in the field, just like completely just engorging, like her body's ripping through the shirt. It looks like when you see Bruce Banner turn into the Hulk,
basically,
just minus the green.
Yeah.
And so I was at that point, I was like, what the fuck? Like the whole movie was hinting that something weird's going on with her body, but this is the first time we see her like literally just like Hulk out. And it threw me off. And then it threw me off even more when she came up to the two Lou's, and then they both look up and they're like, what the fuck? And then she just looks like a fucking titan.
Yeah.
She is even taller than the Hulk himself. It's like she's big, not just like muscular, but like literally she's like 15 feet tall at this point. And I thought it was going to be like some weird psychedelic imagery. It's supposed to be symbolic, but it looked literally that's what was going on.
Yeah, I was like, Lou, both the Lou's, they sober right now. So
yeah.
And I'm sober. Yeah. So I don't know.
It was so bizarre. So she pins down Lou Sr. and she's like, fuck him up, Lou. Do your worst. And then Lou's about to stick the gun in his mouth and then ready to kill this man. But then she's just like, you know what? The cops can have you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess, but you really could have just killed him and you would have been
Honestly.
fine. Because either way, you're on the run for the rest of your lives. So they end up not killing the dad. And then I like this scene, but it also makes no fucking sense. I think this was a scene that wasn't literal. When they run off, you see that Jackie is like this towering woman. You see like mountains like brushing past her and like horizon. But then you see Kristen Stewart like right behind her, the same ass height as this giant ass woman. They're just like, there's all these like neon like pink and purplish lights, like all like the queer lighting that we see in queer movies. It was really pretty and it was psychedelic, but it was also just like, wait, Lou didn't literally get bigger too, right? This is just like a symbolic moment.
I don't know. It's like some Attack on Titan shit. They all drank the same thing or took the same steroids or something, and now they're just running down a hill. I don't know.
The Titan fluid.
Yeah, tall girl, too tall or something, two steroids. I don't know. Whatever you want to say. It was it was a really nice scene. I liked it.
It was very romantic, but I was also like, I don't support this.
I know.
I don't support you guys being together.
You guys are so fucking toxic. You kill so many people, and then I was just like, oh my god.
You guys barely work together as a unit.
I'm just like, I don't know. Should I be rooting for them? Because I'm like, this is a really nice scene, and I'm like, they got away and fuck like Lou Senior or whatever the fuck his name is. And, but I was just like, y'all problem. Like, y'all.
That was the whole time I was thinking. I'm like, I can't tell if I should be rooting for these two. They're so awful for each other.
I'm just like, you gonna stop the roids, Jackie? You gonna stop smoking, Lou? Like, I'm running with y'all, but like, we gotta change.
Yeah. Like, mind you, they got rid of problematic people for the most part. There was one innocent death, unfortunately, that was involved with the bodybuilding woman in Vegas. So, like, I get that they're finally free from the grip of this man's power over this town. That is a good thing, but it's also like, well, y'all are also really just bad for each other. Like, you guys have good sex, and that's about it. You guys don't really function very well as, like, a healthy couple. Like, you guys just are just like eating each other up. Like, again, that's just like the constant cycle of like lust and like codependency that we see in this movie, whether it's with like the Daisy character or Lou Sr. wanting power or these two. So they finally make their run and they escape. They're on the road and it's very romantic. And then there's this funny, awkward scene in the truck where the truck bumps and then the the body of Daisy in the back moves slowly, and it's not like the body jumps because of a bump. It was because she's fucking alive still.
Yeah, somehow.
And then I love the shot of Kristen Stewart's face just like looking back and then looking forward and then slowly looking at Jackie, just like completely awkward and like not knowing what to do at first.
Yeah.
It was so funny. And then she just stops somewhere, lets this woman Jackie sleep it off the roid rage, while she slowly unveils the tarp of the body, sees that Daisy's still alive. I don't know how. She got shot through the throat. I feel like she would have bled to death.
Yeah.
But she's still alive somehow. So then she's like, fuck. And then you see like this wide shot. Like in the background, you see Lou just digging up a hole for this body.
Because she just like strangles her basically. Like,
yeah, she finishes off the job by strangling her.
Just like, I was
digs
like,
a hole.
You should have done this a long time ago before she got shot. I don't know. It was just like, it was so funny.
I like that shot. It's just, you see a close up of Jackie in the car sleeping. And then in the background, it's Lou trying to get rid of this problem once again. And then I love how the movie just ends with her just flicking another cigarette. It's just like, it's a perfect like tie to like the first scene of Lou just chain smoking.
Yeah.
And she just never gets out of this cycle of addiction and codependency, and that's their life now.
Yeah. Even I think with the scene with JJ, he had like a pack of cigarettes on him, and before she's gonna close the trunk with his body in it, she saw the cigarette. She's like, no.
I forgot about that moment. Yeah. Yeah, I love that the movie sprinkles these moments of humor.
Yeah.
It just like, you feel like it shouldn't belong there, but it should.
Yeah.
You're dealing with like this person who is an addict herself in her own way. Jackie's an addict. Everybody in this movie in their own way has some sort of obsession or addiction, whether it's like a literal drug or like something symbolic like power over somebody or power over a town. So yeah, that's how the movie ends. They run off together. She had to get rid of Daisy's body. Well, I got what I wanted. Daisy's gone.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's basically the whole movie. And again, I think we made it sound way more enjoyable than we kind of felt it was.
Yeah.
Because again, for the most part, I did like the movie, but that third like act just felt so messy and rushed, and it just felt like there needed to be more time with the characters, specifically with Jackie, about what is her deal with this, this backstory of her being a wanderer and then her just raging out and turning into Hulk. It was like a weird science fiction moment that just never gets explained.
Yeah.
It was so weird and so random. Like, I don't know if we're just supposed to just accept it without an explanation, but I felt like that needed explanation because we just don't know that much about Jackie, other than maybe she has an addiction to steroids, but that's never made fully clear, at least in my opinion.
No, yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of it. It kind of just felt like you just go along with it.
I guess so, yeah.
Like sometimes, like it's just like sometimes something's just gonna or someone's gonna just blow into your life and like the impossible is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of what it felt like she was.
Yeah.
And it's just like you could either just go with it or just let it overtake you or just turn the other way. And I guess that's just Lou deciding like do I just go with it? Is it a good thing? But at some point it becomes something that you can't really tame, and that's what Jackie is for the most part. And it's funny because like her personality really just kind of seemed like sweet and like chill.
Yeah, she's like super normal and sweet and friendly.
Yeah.
And then she has this whole other dark side where
to her.
she gets nasty when she doesn't get her way.
Yeah.
Specifically when she's high on the steroids. Like she'll even fight with Lou when Lou tries to resist what Jackie wants.
Yeah.
Because Lou's just trying to watch out for her and calm her down.
But somehow it still doesn't seem like malicious. It just seems like she's just losing all control. Like she has like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like she's just doing it. She just has a goal and she just wants something, or she wants something from Lou. She wants more from Lou. She wants her on her side, and it's just like not happening. It's almost like she's just throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Even when she's doing that, it never really actually felt like malicious. When she killed JJ, I didn't feel like a malicious intent from her, if that makes sense either. It didn't seem like that. It just doesn't seem like her character. So I'm not sure if it's just like the drugs that are making her like totally just act out, and that's not her. She does have a dark side, but I didn't feel any like really like I didn't feel like she was like a bad person for me. I didn't get that from her. I just felt like she was just lost control, like no control over herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I think it's a little more complicated than that. I mean, I've never been addicted to drugs, but I know that drugs can change like your whole brain chemistry and stuff, but it's like you ultimately still have the willpower and decision to stop doing it if it's getting scary for the people that you love.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the part where for me, it's still like a malicious place where you're just ignoring somebody else's like wishes for you to like stop, but it also doesn't help that Lou's the fucking one that prescribed the shit to begin with. So I think it's like this back and forth of two people doing bad things to each other, even though they're lustful for each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know if I would say that this is like actual love for each other. And if it is love, I feel like it's a very twisted, fucked up kind of version of it. I think that might be what the movie's going for, because it's all charged with like, again, addiction and like codependency and like power struggles too. So I don't know. I feel like she, even though she was under the influence of drugs, I feel like Jackie was kind of sometimes a bad person when it came to like Lou. She was definitely bad when she killed an innocent person. like she just like completely misunderstood that situation. Again, she was under the influence, but it's like you made the decision to keep taking this thing to the point where you got to this uncontrollable level.
But if she's addicted to it, at that point, it's like not so much I feel like a decision. It's an addiction.
Well, everything before was a decision.
Everything before.
So she knew that she would get to that point, because it sounds like she's had that history before. Otherwise, that history with the mom.
But we don't know that. We don't know.
You don't know, but I think it's safe to assume. Because why else would the mom call her a monster? We don't get any other things like informing us besides what's going on right now. I think it's safe to assume.
I don't think so.
I guess we'll agree to disagree.
Yes, we will.
So yeah, and I don't know. I think that's all I have for thoughts here. I don't think I had any lingering questions or
Well,
thoughts.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you rate this?
Yeah, what do I rate this? I don't know. Since I had I generally enjoyed the movie with like very mixed feelings towards the end. I feel like I could give this like a light baked potato.
Mm-hmm.
I had a good time watching most of the movie. My main problem comes with the ending, and I feel like if they had just changed it up and tweaked it up and tightened it a little better, I feel like I would have understood more of what the movie was trying to say, and I would have enjoyed it more.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like with those missing parts, I just felt like I couldn't go up to like something as strong as like a loaded potato.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Like I would give it definitely like a baked potato, with some salt on it, and the last scrape of butter.
I don't think there's salt on this one for me.
I would do that because so like I'm thinking like a 3.5 maybe for me. I don't know if you're just at a 3, but
Yeah, like a solid 3.
yeah, I feel like there were holes, and I feel like they could have probably explained, gave a little bit more detail, a little bit more development in some of the characters to understand it. Even if we weren't supposed to fully understand Jackie turned into this giant Titan Hulk monster thing or whatever, I just feel like we should have had a little bit more of her background, and we should have had a little more of the background on what's the sister's name? Beth, her relationship with her husband. It didn't have to be too much, and the her relationship with the dad as well too. I feel like there should have been like maybe some flashback or a little bit more, like dialogue between the family, just so we can know like, okay, well, this is why Beth doesn't want anyone. This is why Lou Sr. doesn't do anything, because it's really hard to believe, like the fact that he controls the police. He's got a canyon full of bodies. I don't know if it's a canyon, a ditch, whatever you want to fucking call it.
Yeah,
he's got this control. He's got the FBI looking for him and stuff like that. It's like, I don't even know exactly what he did. You guys made it clear that he is someone that does bad things and has disappeared people. So it's just like, I really want to know what his daughter has said to him for him to agree to not doing something about this JJ character. I want to know why Beth feels like she doesn't want anyone to do anything to this JJ character at all. And then Jackie, I want to know, like, why is someone over the phone calling her a monster? Like, even if it was just fragmented, like, pieces of
just imageries or flashbacks or something.
Flashbacks or something.
Yeah.
Just to give me like some idea of who she is and why she's reacting the way she's reacting with the, the steroids and stuff. That would have been great. So I feel like there were holes in it for me not to really say, oh, I would give this like a loaded potato. So yeah, I think people should still watch it.
I think it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, whether you want to go to no one jerked off in our theater, so that's it's not
Why I gotta bring this up?
What? I don't want anyone to hear this and be like, oh, I'm gonna go watch it, and then you have some like weird sounds going down the aisle.
I don't think any of our listeners are creeps.
No, not them. I'm just like warning them. Like if you go to the movie, someone might be enjoying the movie a little too much.
If you're wondering why she's bringing up jerking off, we've read a news article that some guy got arrested for jerking off to a screening of this movie somewhere
and falling asleep.
It's like,
after
the movie's very sexy, but for all you creeps out there, don't do this, please.
Yeah,
you're ruining it for everybody.
Wait for it on streaming so you could do that at home,
or just don't do it. I don't care. Just don't do it in public. Anyways, with that nasty note, guys, thank you guys for listening to this latest episode of the Most Potato Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys as always. Make sure to hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening from. Hit that notification bell as well, and hit all the likes, because we gotta appease the algorithm gods with the likes.
Bitch ass algorithm.
Yeah. So make sure to do that. Make sure to respond to our polls and questions on Spotify, and leave comments on YouTube as well. We want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this movie if you've seen it. I need to see like other people's opinions on this, because I feel like I'm hearing stuff from like people loving it to people like feeling like okay.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anybody that disliked the movie, which I guess is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do all that good stuff for us, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.